Free trade benefits everyone when it's free, when it's fair. It brings goods to American consumers. It provides jobs and economic development to emerging nations. Those nations then have the financial resources to purchase American goods and services, especially big-ticket items like aviation and technology, or they can buy engineering services to improve infrastructure, or they can buy agricultural products that improve the quality of life. Free trade is a win-win when it's free, when it's fair. Unfortunately, the Chinese government has pursued policies designed to enhance their economic position in the world with little or no regard towards their trading partners, the environment, or even the health and safety of its own citizens. They dump below-cost products in foreign markets to drive under competition. They manipulate currency in violation of international law to gain unfair advantage. They show utter disregard for the planet. They demonstrate little interest in the well-being of their own working men and women. Their ruthless drive towards economic expansion has manifested itself in aggressive and threatening behavior towards their neighbors in the Philippine Sea. A trade war would benefit no one, but steps should be taken to discourage ongoing bad behavior. Sanctions never work and only escalate tensions needlessly. Historically, sanctions have never had the desired effect. It is worth noting that despite years of strict sanctions against Iraq, it took a military invasion to remove Saddam Hussein. Sanctions did have a dramatic effect on the Japanese Empire, and the result was Pearl Harbor. I believe a moderate system of surcharges placed on Chinese products that equal what they should be spending on environmental protection and workers' health and safety is warranted. I would remove the financial incentives for continued disregard of international norms. Targeted surcharges would have many positive effects. In the West, in Europe and the Americas and Japan, we value and protect the environment. Perhaps not as much as we should, but the EPA in the US and comparable agencies in the EU, Canada, and Japan work to mitigate the effect of humans on the environment and work towards sustainable relationship with the planet. Environmental protection is essential in an increasingly crowded world. Environmental protection does have a cost. In addition to the cost of funding agencies, compliance adds cost to every product. Every car, every plastic fork or paper napkin is more expensive because of the cost of compliance. In the US, it's $150 billion a year, or 2% of the GDP. It's expensive, but it's worth it. The Chinese demonstrate no such concern for the environment. Their only recorded act to protect the environment was to suspend polluting activities prior to the 2008 Summer Olympics, so that participating athletes wouldn't keel over. When the games were done, they were back at it. Their pollution can actually be seen from space. I'm not going to spout a bunch of statistics, but detailed proof is a couple mouse clicks away if you're interested. The concept of limiting the environmental impact of humans through the Kyoto and Paris Accords were noble, but woefully inadequate. They paid only lip service to reining in Indian and Chinese activities, two of the worst polluters. The Chinese are poisoning themselves. They are poisoning the rest of the world. Pollution does not respect international borders. It goes wherever the wind blows or the tides rise. As a sovereign nation, what they do within their own borders is their own business. But their actions cross borders and harm everyone. Something must be done. A system of surcharges would discourage and mitigate the effects as well as generate revenue to repair the damage. In my professional life, in addition to being an insurance broker, I was an authorized OSHA trainer and a member of the American Society of Safety Engineers. I have learned throughout my career in business and industry that although safety is its own reward, there are additional benefits. The culture of safety increases quality and productivity, whether it is Kaizen, Kanban, Six Sigma, total quality management, or lean manufacturing. The benefits overlap. Having said that, safety isn't cheap. Again, it does add costs, but they are worth it. Since OSHA was created, workplace fatalities in the U.S. have gone down every year except for one. They are down to about 4,300 a year. It is difficult to know just how bad workplace safety is in China. They try to conceal the statistics and the most horrendous incidents. Educated estimates are 70,000 a year. Chinese mines are death traps. The factories aren't much better. The pressure to produce quickly causes corners to be cut. Workplace pressures have other effects. At one Foxconn plant where iPhones are made, the 7-day-a-week, 12-hour shift schedule took a heavy toll. Employees began hurling themselves from the roof rather than face another day. Instead of addressing the issues, management decided merely to install nets to break their fall. Those consumers who purchase Apple products may wish to consider what behaviors they are subsidizing, what misery was inflicted to produce their new gadget. In Western countries, there were horrible practices during industrial and commercial development. There was damage to the environment. There were abuses to working men and women. It is not surprising that the Chinese are going through the same evolution. The difference is that through the democratic process, our society curbed those horrible practices. Unfortunately, the entrenched Chinese oligarchy is immune to such necessary reforms. The United States, Europe, and Japan may wish to consider what practical and effective means might curb the undeniable excesses that occur in China, and what behavior modification techniques would work to correct them. I think a surcharge is warranted, reasonable, and would work. That's what I think. You can put your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.